All right, so subtracting integers, and it's October already. Can you guys believe it? It's October. We made it through 1 full month of school.
Wait, what?
It's October 1st today.
I didn't know that. Oh,
Yay.
I didn't know that.
Like, when we started school, I kind of thought, oh, we're not even going to make it to the end of September. Like, we'll be distance learning by then. But we made it 1 month. I'm excited that we made it 1 month. Okay, so subtracting integers. Now, we're going to do a little bit first, and you don't have to write anything yet. Okay? Let's look at these problems over here. Oh, somebody's singing to me. Thanks, Brady. He's singing. Okay. So I want you guys, or you can write your answers down. I want you guys to write the answers down to these problems. Okay, they're all adding problems. So, yeah, you can do it in your head. But I just want you to write the answers down. I'll give you a couple minutes to write all those answers down. Can't be yawning, Lynn. I'm not that boring. Now you won't. Keep your comments to yourself.
In Zoom, yeah.
Okay, do we think we have these answers? Are these easy? I kind of hope so. Okay, the first one, 8 plus negative 3, shout it out. 5. And the next one is negative 5. 11, 8 plus 3 is 11. Negative 8 plus negative 3?
Negative 1.
8 plus negative 11?
Negative 3.
Negative 8 plus 11?
3.
3, okay. So hopefully you at home had those same answers and that wasn't too hard. I need to write this better because I don't like it when my writing doesn't look good. Okay, now we're going to look at subtracting. And you guys, I'm going to tell you right now that subtracting with negative numbers gets really kind of messy if you have to think about it as actually subtracting. Some of them are okay. The first one, 8 minus 3, everyone, that is 5. Not such a big deal. Negative 8 minus negative 3.
Negative 5.
It's negative 5. Okay, and the reason why it's negative 5, and I'll draw it out, if I have 8 negatives, and subtract means take away, and I take away 3 of the negatives, so those are gone, I'm left with 5 negatives. Okay? How about 8 minus negative 3? 8 minus negative 3. It would.
Huh?
8 minus negative 3 is 11.
Huh?
Okay, so let me draw it out and I'll kind of show you what's happening. And this is where it gets confusing. We have 8 positives, right? And I want to take away 3 negatives. Do I have any negatives to take away? No. But what if I did this? Does this here still represent positive 8?
Mm-hmm.
Remember yesterday when we said, doesn't matter how many zeros I put with it, this is still 8. Now, can I take away 3 negatives? Yeah, I can take away these 3 negatives. They're gone. And my answer is 11. Okay, Noah.
So like if you had like if it's like 8 minus negative 3, the negative in the middle kind of cancels out the negative
Yeah.
3.
So Noah said, well, so these 2 negatives here, the negative in the middle and the negative on the negative 3 kind of cancel each other out? Yeah, in a way, they do. Okay. Okay, so let's try the next one. It says -8 minus 3. Okay, and I'm going to tell you that the answer is -11. Okay, because it's 8 negatives. And I want to take away 3 positives, but I can't do that unless I put some 0 pairs there. So if I add some zeros to that, now I can take away 3 positives, those are gone, and I'm left with 8 negatives. Or, sorry, 11 negatives. Okay, yes.
So you keep the same sign as the bigger number still?
Not necessarily. Well, we'll get to that, okay? So this is all really confusing, right? For some of us, you're like, I just don't get it, okay? And if we have 8 minus 11, what do you think that is? It's actually -3. Because if you had $8 and you spent $11, you'd be $3 in the hole, right? So it'd be -3. Okay? And then the last one, -8 minus -11, actually ends up being 3. Okay, because it's 8 negatives. That's 5, 6, 7, 8 negatives. And I want to take away 11 negatives. Well, I only have 8. So I need some 0 pairs. And now if I take away all 11 negatives, those are gone, I'm left with 3 positives. Okay, here's why I wanted these side by side. Look at this set of problems, the addition problems we did first. And then look at the subtraction problems that we just did. What do you notice? Bailey.
We got the same answer for all of them.
Every single one of them gave the same answer. Do you notice any other similarities? Between the two sets of problems, do you notice any other similarities? Those of you at home, if you notice anything, raise your hand. You can unmute yourself and say it. Do you notice any other similarities? Elizabeth, go ahead. Okay, so you're noticing that the signs of the numbers. So what she said, you guys couldn't hear her because it's in my earpiece, but she said, kind of goes positive, negative, there's some similarities between the pluses and the minus signs. Dylan?
What I realized is that, like, with the adding integers, that you had 8 plus grouping symbols -3, where on the other side it's 8 minus 3, just normally.
Okay. Notice this. Look at these first numbers. 8, -8, 8, -8, 8, -8. Same, right? 8, -8, 8, -8, 8, -8. That was the same. The first number never changed. In this set of problems, on the left, I have all plus signs. On the right, I have all minus signs. Okay? Look at the second number. I have a -3. What do I have here?
3.
+3. Right? Over here, I had +3, -3. 3, -3. -3, +3. -11, +11. 11, -11. So they were always the opposite. Okay? I don't like subtraction very much. To be completely honest with you, it gets really confusing with negative numbers. So would we all be okay with it if we just said, let's get rid of subtraction? Let's not worry about subtraction. Let's change subtraction into addition all the time. Okay, and it's really easy to do. Watch this. I can go like that. Okay, it's the same problem. And I can add 2 little lines. And I've got the same problem. 8 plus 3. -8 plus -3. 8 plus -11. -8 plus +11. So all we're going to do on every single subtraction problem is we're going to make them addition problems. Because we already know that adding is pretty easy for us. Right? We didn't have adding. You guys did well on the homework. And then we can sing our song. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger number, then it'll be exact.
Amazing singer.
Okay, so we just need to get rid of the subtraction. Okay, so here's our rule. I'm gonna skip this. Rule for subtracting integers. Write this down. Okay? The rule for subtracting integers is to add the opposite. Okay, this is our rule. The other way I like to think of it is keep, change, change. And I'll tell you what that means. Okay?
Yeah.
Add the opposite or keep, change, change. How many of you have ever heard that before? Keep, change, change. Some of you have. Okay, so let me show you a couple of examples. If the problem is negative 2 minus 4. Okay? I don't want to do subtracting. That's confusing. So we're going to change it by adding the opposite. Or keep the first number, change the minus to a plus, and change the positive 4 to negative 4. So keep, change, change. So now the problem is negative 2 plus negative 4. What is that? Negative 6. Okay? So if the problem was 3 minus negative 8, and we follow this rule, keep, change the minus to a plus, change the negative 8 to a positive 8. So keep, change, change. Now we just have 3 plus 8. 3 plus 8 is 11. And we're done. Okay, let's try one more. Negative 7 minus negative 3. The rule says keep the first number, never mess with the first number, keep it the way it is. Change the minus to a plus, change the negative 3 to a positive 3. So I'm adding the opposite. And now I have negative 7 plus positive 3. They are different signs, so different signs subtract. 7 minus 3 is 4. Keep the sign of the bigger number. So it's negative 4. How are we feeling about that? Are we okay with getting rid of subtracting? And just making it adding? Okay. I want you to practice some of these before I just let you do homework. Okay, I want you to try these 3 problems. Put them in your notebook. It says for each problem, rewrite the problem as an addition problem and evaluate. So I want you to change it into an addition problem and then find the answer.
Miss Offering. The pencil sharpener, which one should I unplug?
It's plugged in. The pencil sharpener is, oh,
Unplug the top one. Unplug the top one.
okay, so we have to be really careful. Don't just change the minus to a plus. You have to change 2 things. On every problem, you're always changing 2 things. So on number 1, can somebody tell me the addition problem? Dylan.
7 plus negative 12.
Good. 7 plus negative 12. Keep, change, change. Remember, you're changing 2 things. And 7 plus negative 12 is?
-5.
Negative 5. Okay, so Manuel, do you see why it's negative? There are more negatives here. There are 12 negatives and only 7 positives. So since there are more of them, it has to be negative. Okay, Noah.
For the ones where you have a smaller number first minus the bigger number, can't you just count like 0, negative, and
You could. It just gets a little trickier when the numbers get really big.
okay.
Okay. Okay, number 2. How would I change that to an addition problem? Izzy.
-3 plus -8.
So keep, change, change. I changed 2 things again. Change the minus to a plus, the 8 to a -8, and now I have -3 plus -8. Derek, what is that?
You add 8 plus 3 is 11.
And
-11.
-11. So because they're the same signs, we add and keep. All right, number 3. 17 minus -14. What's the addition problem? Go ahead, Izzy.
17 plus 14.
17 plus 14. That makes it so nice. All the negatives went away. Okay? So it's just 17 plus 14, which is 28. Remember, you're always changing 2 things. Keep, change, change. Okay, we're going to try a couple more. Number 4. -14 minus -3. What would be the addition problem? We'll do these together. Nail, how would we change it? We keep the first number. Change the minus to a plus. Change the -3 to a +3. So keep, change, change. Okay, what's -14 plus 3? Bailey?
-11.
-11. Okay, number 5, 27 minus -30. How do I change it? Egan?
27 plus 30.
27 plus 30. Keep, change, change. What's 27 plus 30? Go ahead, Derek.
57.
57. And number 6, this is the one time that I wouldn't change it. If it says 13 minus 7, just do 13 minus 7. If the first number is bigger, 13 minus 7 is just 6. If you are in the habit of always changing it, that's okay too, right? Keep, change, change. That's just 13 plus -7. You get the same answer. There's more positives. Same, different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger number. So far, so good? Okay, I think that's all. Okay, so your homework then. How do you say